the SwirlyCast, the only audio show that can be enjoyed by humans and yokai alike, and it's the subject of needing to stay up at midnight in order to get an episode to launch. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that with this episode. I'm your host, Koma. Happy to spend a few minutes out of your day to come and get with us, and with formalities out of the way, what is on the mind today? We're going to be doing something similar to what we did for the Kiosk episode, in that we're not talking about a game in particular, but we're going to be talking about a more generalized topic. In which case, we're going to be talking about the midnight launch. I'm pretty sure if you're a gamer and you really wanted to play a game, chances are you know the story and you know it well. So, the midnight launch, if y'all are unfamiliar about what it is, it's people staying up to midnight so they can be the first ones to get a particular thing. Like, say, amiibo, a game, or a game console, something like that. But, I never really got into the midnight launch though. However, more recently, I have done just that. So let's talk about a few of the stories that I had revolving around it. Just so you know, I did not camp out outside of GameStop just so I can get copies of Smash Ultimate. I'm not that crazy, I think. But, I did in fact stay up for Smash Ultimate's launch, and hanging out with friends during that time, that was a trip and a half. Anyone remember Ultimate's launch? It was kind of nuts. Because, things wouldn't unlock, people were getting it at different times, and it was just such a huge launch for the Switch. It was kind of crazy how much it happened. Oh yeah, and Joker from Persona 5 got revealed during that time as well. Really think about that. A DLC character got revealed at the same time the game was not even out yet. Because that makes sense. And also Joker. Thanks, Smash, for getting me into Persona, and now I'm a happy owner of Persona 4 Golden. Consider that a topic for another time, but, yeah, it was kind of nuts just hanging out with friends. It was like, when is it? Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. That was sort of what we were happening. We were just hanging out in a VC together, and, that was pretty much the experience and a half. Whenever we saw that light of hope, that it will unlock and let us into the new game. Let me just say it was pretty friggin' magical when that happened. A similar thing happened, but this time it was only for me, when the Insane Trilogy came out for the Nintendo Switch. So at this point, only the Insane Trilogy was available on PS4, and it wasn't available on PC, Switch, or Xbox yet. And so, because I like Crash, I decided to stay up to midnight so that I can play the Insane Trilogy. And honestly, you get a pretty comparable version with the Switch game. So, I mean, it's Crash Bandicoot. It's all three games. They're great. Here's hoping that Crash 4 comes to Switch. But, yeah, that's just not as particularly interesting of a story, but hey, I stood up for that one, so I guess that's gotta mean something. And now, we get to the magnum opus. Animal Crossing New Horizons was the game that I'm pretty sure everybody was looking forward to ever since it got revealed, and I still like New Leaf more. But, yeah, New Horizons is going to be its own episode in the future, much like, Ultimate and P4 Golden, but, to summarize how the launch went, let me just say that I was hanging out in a VC, and, yeah, let me just say that I was like, yeah, it was like the same thing that happened with Smash Ultimate. It was like that glimmer of hope, that one thing to give me a ray from current world events. I want to be happy again, darn it! And that's just, it kind of just was that game that everybody needed at the time, and I barely play it now because, no, Ultimate exists. Call it cool. But, yeah, it was just really that game that I'm pretty sure everybody needed during that time, and still kind of do at this point. I've been wanting to get back into it, so maybe once I start playing it a little bit more, I'll have that dedicated episode ready for you all, but, don't expect it anytime soon. But, yeah. Honestly, the whole culture behind midnight launches is just sort of fascinating to me. Like, yeah, you're going to be getting the game before anybody else does, because you willingly stood outside of a store or stood up past your bedtime so that you can unlock that digital key so that you can get into your game and download the day one patches and all that other stuff. It's sort of just kind of that feeling of like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm hanging out with fellow gamers who are really excited for this one thing. And yeah, it's just kind of a cultural experience that all gamers should experience at some point. I experienced it. I don't know if you did, but if you did, like, leave some of your experiences down below. I'd love to read them. And because yeah, it's just sort of a thing that bonds everybody together in a weird sort of magical way. Because yeah, it's basically a gamer tradition at this point. True, not all of them have been, well, good, but you know, midnight launches have just been that one thing that everybody can agree is, well, like I said, gamer tradition. Because you know, you're hanging out with fellow nerds, you're doing a bunch of other stuff. You can play older entries of the games on the consoles if you actually brought them with you, and you can actually make a lot of friends that way. It's fun. It's amazing. And I did it with my friends for Ultimate's launch and for New Horizons launch, and it was really fun. I really got to, experience something that I never really did before, and it was really fun. I enjoyed every single midnight launch that I've been to, and when the next big game releases, let me just say that I'm probably going to be hanging out with another crew on a VC, and it's going to be pretty fun. Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot. I did that for Crown Tundra. I hung out with a few friends during that time, and it was really fun. I enjoyed Crown Tundra quite a bit. But again, next time. But yeah, that's just sort of my experiences with midnight launches and just, all the other stuff. I apologize for the shorter episodes that have been coming out as of late, but trust me, I got a lot of meat on my bones for the next episode, because next week, we're going to be talking about a lot of Pokemon. So be ready for that. But with that, I think that's what we're going to be calling the episode for now. Honestly, midnight launches have just been this thing that has been ingrained in culture. And I think it's not going to be going away anytime soon. And here's hoping that the traditional midnight launch can still exist in the next year. I would really like to do one of these days, but I'm perfectly content with doing them digital only. But, it's just sort of that one thing that not everybody likes to do. But if you're a fan of the series, why not do it at that point and support the franchise? But yeah. This has been Kama, and ladies and gents and NBs, we do not exclude on this channel. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the SwirlyCast. Until next time, bye bye! Please, y'all, if this episode is out and it's your bedtime, go to sleep first. The episode isn't going anywhere. The midnight launch is not worth it. Okay, maybe it is, but still,